Cafe anyway. Hey, it's Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Man, oh man, it's Mike Matthews. Oh, hello, welcome to Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. It's episode
Mike's Daily Podcast
2424. Yes, we're at 2424. Look out! It's the same number twice, and I'll tell you something. I'll give you advice. I'll say, hey, you know, when you get a test in the nose, you have to be careful because of those tests that you test stuff for, that it's accurate.
Mike's Daily Podcast
And that you don't waste your money doing it wrong like I did a couple of times today. But hey, it was so much fun shoving a thing up my nose because somebody decided to hang out with their girlfriend's dad who had COVID. This is called marry her, because you put us all through crap, and you know what? You love her so much that you go ahead and come down with the COVID because of your girlfriend's husband. That's when you know you got to marry her, and that the husband... wait, what? That the father of the girl you're marrying... Let me see. I have this mapped out perfectly. It's diagrammed. The father of your girlfriend who has given you COVID should then give you a life supply of house, car, and gas forever and ever. That's how it should work. Yes. Oh, it is drizzling a little bit here at Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, Cafe Anyway, and Mike Matthews. And my nose did enjoy all the wonderful swabs and whatnot that were shoved into it today. And that's part of life, I guess, sometimes in today's world of having that done for you. I want to thank you. Thank you. And not in a Natalie Merchant way, but in an Alanis Morissette way.
And here's today's podcast picture.
In an Alanis Morissette thank you sort of way. The podcast picture today is of that wonderful walk that I took with my lovely lady friend. She was on the last podcast, by the way, in FF episode 2423, which is called Dating, because we were talking about dates. The things you eat, the fruit. But thank you for being on the show, lovely lady friend. She's walking and seeing a bunch of deer at the moment. So, in the lyrics to Thank You, the wonderful Alanis Morissette, yes, the late great Basil the Boxer. I think we listened to Alanis Morissette maybe once or twice together. I think he enjoyed it. That was his bark to say he enjoyed it, possibly. You have to understand that when she had tremendous success with Jagged Little Pill, and then the song from the movie City of Angels turned out to be huge with the Nicolas Cage. Hey, I'm Nicolas Cage and I'm an angel now. With Meg Ryan. Remember Meg Ryan was in that? Let's see. Excuse me, my nose. Because of all that swabbing I had to do today. Swab. I'm so swab. I'm Rico Suave. So back to this fascinating story I'm telling you about the Alanis Morissette lyrics. So she does all that, and then she comes back with the next album, and the first single is called Thank You. And it's thank and the letter U. And then in the video, and this is all idiots remember, all the 30-somethings, all the millennials, all the Gen Zers, this is all they say. Oh, that was the song where she was naked. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you, India. Thank you, terror. Thank you, disillusionment. Thank you, frailty. Thank you, consequence. Thank you, silence. Is so well written. I'm not a huge Alanis Morissette fan. Okay, I got 3 albums and her greatest hits. But I didn't go too far deep into her unplugged stuff and then the stuff where she went real Middle Eastern and all that. I didn't do that. I didn't go that far. But gosh, she did thank India right there from the get-go. So we knew she was into India. How about them transparent dangling carrots? She says that line right when the drums kick in. It's probably a mechanical drum loop. Early 90s mechanical drum loop. I think this came out mid 90s, as I recall. And so when the drums kick in, so she starts off with the, how about getting off these antibiotics? How about stopping eating when I'm full up? Okay, everyone can relate to that. Then she says this thing, and I never could understand what she said. She said, how about them transparent dangling carrots? And the way she sings it, I cannot understand what she's saying. But it's true. What about those transparent dangling carrots in front of us? How about that ever elusive kudo? That's what she says right after that. How about that ever elusive kudo? Like, kudos to you. And you never get it. You never get a thanks. So I'm a manager. I make sure to give thanks to people. I don't overdo it. I try not to thank vapid things. I try to promote good work ethics. And at this point in my life, I don't care if nobody gives me a kudo. I don't care. I'm at 53 now. I just don't care. But I cared when I was younger because I'm like, am I doing it right? Am I going the right direction? Give me some idea. Give me some feedback. So fascinating, isn't that? A little bit, just a teeny weeny bit. Thank you, Alanis Morissette, for that song. But here, I would just wanted to tell you that you should try to eat healthy. And last night, I ate the fast food. Tonight, I'm eating kind of the fast food. I'm going to doctor it up, though. I'm going to shove some kale into my burrito. It doesn't sound right. Kale in my burrito. So I think as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, there is some tips on that. I looked up eating healthy on a budget. When it comes to eating on a budget, staple foods like bread, potatoes, rice, and pasta are generally very good value for money, but they are a nutritious part. Are they a nutritious part of a healthy diet? That's what it says here from nutrition.org. Baked potatoes is what they're saying are great as a cheap, healthy, and filling meal, and you can experiment with your favorite toppings. Perhaps to use up leftover pasta sauce or stew. Yeah, but ain't that all carbohydrates? Carbs? Let's see. Well, let's see what else they say here at nutrition.org. If baking potatoes in the oven, then you can make the most of having the oven on and add some extra potatoes. These can be kept for a couple of days in the fridge or longer in the freezer and microwaved for a quick meal another time. Rice and pasta are great. And they can be served warm with sauces, curries, stews, or used as the base for a salad, which can be a good way of using up any leftover pasta or rice you have cooked. Leftover starchy foods can be added to soups to thicken them and make them more filling. It says here about, by the way, that when you should try to also reduce waste when you're eating on a budget. You will see use by dates on food that goes off quickly, such as meat products and ready prepared salads. Do not use foods or drinks after the use by date on the label, even if it looks and smells fine. Using it after this date could put your health at risk. Remember, the use by date relies on you storing the food properly, as described on the food label. But use by dates do not always mean eat by. If a food can be frozen, then its life can be extended beyond the use by date. Follow the instructions on the packaging carefully, such as freeze on the day of purchase, defrost thoroughly before use within 24 hours, or cook from frozen. The best before dates are more about food quality. Best before are more about food quality than food safety. When the date runs out, it does not mean that the food will be harmful. Best before dates appear on a wide range of frozen, dried, or tinned other foods. When the date runs out, does not mean the food will be harmful, but it might begin to lose flavor and texture. Always store the foods as described on the food packaging. Eggs are an exception for the best before date. They should be eaten with a couple of days of their best before date. The most frequently wasted foods and how to use them. Now, nutrition.org is from England, so it's actually nutrition.org.uk. It says here in the UK, we waste on average 7 million tons of food and drink from our homes every year, the majority of which could have been eaten. For an average family household, this is the equivalent to throwing away 470 pounds. That's their monetary unit, as you probably know, worth of food every year. Many of us do not, I think that comes out to something like $600. Many of us do not realize we are doing it, but there are many ways to reduce your food waste. The foods most often wasted include bread and bakery products, vegetables and salad, fruit, drinks, dairy products, and eggs, meat and fish products, and pre-prepared meals. Using up your leftovers may seem boring and unappetizing, but there are plenty of delicious meals and snacks that can be made from even the smallest portion of leftovers and save you money too. With overripe fruits, why not add to milk, yogurt, or fruit juice and blend with some frozen fruits to make a delicious smoothie? Alternatively, use them for baking a cake, or add some stews or casseroles, or add to them stews or casseroles to add a naturally sweet flavor to dishes. Leftover bread starting to go stale? Try making your own breadcrumbs and use for coating fish or chicken, or for a delicious crispy topping on a pasta bake. Alternately, freeze those breadcrumbs for later and use for homemade stuffing with your Sunday roast. Thank you, nutrition.org.uk. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, last place on earth. Look who's here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
Mike, so somebody got sick or something?
Yeah.
And you had to take like one of them tests with a swab?
Yeah.
And you didn't like it?
No.
Oh, okay. Some things in life we don't like.
You know what? Life ain't fair.
That's right, Mike. A fair is a place where pigs get ribbons.
That's good.
Yeah, I made that up.
I don't think so. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer house right now.
Thank you so much for the delicious root beer, Brewmaster. It's so good.
Yeah, I made it from milk that went bad. Oh, boy. Drink it or I'll cut you.
Yeah, I don't think I... Well, next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley. Tell me what you think about anything we covered today. 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast has been for several days. I think I might take a break tomorrow, because everybody's getting a little crazy and driving me nuts, and I need a little time away from everyone. Even though you don't contact me and you don't listen, even though you're listening, but I don't know you're listening because you don't contact me through the phone number I just mentioned, or you can also hear it here.
Call now, 336-MM Daily.
And you don't email me at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, and you don't comment on any of my social media, so you do not exist. You're not real. You're the tooth fairy. You are a tooth fairy, and you don't exist. So get back away from my pillow and go back to Michael Lindell, and you go and you go and you go and you go on and you go on, and you don't stop and you don't stop, and you don't ever contact me, ever. I'm going to use reverse psychology on you. Don't ever contact me. There you go. And to contact me, here's a friend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!